Scientists say that traces of radioactivity from the nuclear accident in Japan 4 years ago have washed up on Canada's coastline. It's the first time they've detected materials from the accident in North America, but they say the amounts don't pose a threat to living creatures. Scientists at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution tested samples of seawater collected in Ucluelet, British Columbia, 2 months ago. They found traces of cesium-134. They say the levels were 1.4 becquerels per cubic meter, well below the internationally set level at which human and marine life can be affected. Cesium-134 is produced only by human activity. The scientists say the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant has been the only place where the material has been released in recent years. The team has been collecting samples from along the North American coast for more than a year. They'd previously detected radioactive materials offshore, but not along any beaches. Researchers expect to find detectable levels of cesium-134 in other areas in the coming months, and they say they will keep monitoring the situation. Scientists say that traces of radioactivity from the nuclear accident in Japan 4 years ago have washed up on Canada's coastline. It's the first time they've detected materials from the accident in North America, but they say the amounts don't pose a threat to living.
Through these latest reports, notice very little is mentioned about the Fukushima radiation. There's still, that's a hot potato to the scientists, because if they had come out and admitted, they will lose their funding. They will be taken out of the scene as far as this research goes.
Officials at the Japan Business Federation, Keidanren, have compiled a proposal to be presented to the government for its discussions on energy mix. They are proposing that the ratio of nuclear power reliance in 2030 should be more than 25% of the country's energy needs.
Keeping a certain level of nuclear power plants is necessary for Japan's energy policy and for global measures to fight climate change.
Keidanren officials say the ratio of renewable energy sources, such as solar power, should be about 15%, and thermal power should cover the remaining 60% or so. They say their proposal is for a stable supply of power at economically efficient prices. Officials also say that in addition to restarting nuclear reactors at power plants that have been confirmed as safe, consideration should be given to rebuilding such facilities. People at the government have been working to decide on its energy mix plan, which will impact greenhouse gas emissions. They have to present their targets for cutting greenhouse gas emissions at a UN climate change conference, COP21, at the end of the year.